What's up, YouTube? It's your boy ZTY Tune, back at you with another video real quick. Today, I don't know which camera to look at, so you might see me jumping back and forth. But today, we are going to be talking about my favorite plants that I own of 2023 as of far, actually, just of my collection. Not the plants that I got in 2023, but plants of 2023 that I just really loved, really worked well for me, never had any problems with them. Some of them are new, but the new ones, some of them just don't give you problems sometimes, and I'm just like, cool, it just takes off and just does this thing from the beginning as soon as you bring it into the house, and I love that about a plant. So, with further ado, we're gonna go ahead, instead of me walking around with the camera, I'm gonna just go ahead and have them pop up right here. I already pre-shot some videos of my plants. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop them up right here, bing! And yeah, so also, we're going to talk about my a plant in 2024 that I want to own. There's not too many plants in 2024 that I care to own, as I have pretty much all the plants that I want for the most part. But there is one plant. If you can guess what that plant is, go ahead and put it in the comments early on. Go ahead and pause it. Put it in the comments what you think that might be. Is also what your 2024 ultimate plant is. And go ahead and put that in the comments, and I'll go ahead and I'll tell you what my ultimate 2024 plant is going to be at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, these aren't in any kind of order. These aren't in a specific order from the best to the worst or whatever. I didn't number them, so number 1 isn't better than number 10. Number 10 isn't better than number 1. It's just how they fell into the order of the list that I was going to list out today. So the first plant that we're going to talk about is my Billiete. I've probably only had this plant maybe 6 months, but this plant has done nothing but greatness for me. It's sitting in a coconut. The second I got it, I knew exactly I was going to put it in a coconut, mount it in a coconut, hang it up, and see how it did. And I tell you, this plant is a perfect plant for a coconut because it self-heads. Any kind of philodendron or anthurium or anything like that that self-heads, meaning it doesn't get lengthy. It kind of just stays like right there. It doesn't shoot out all these super long leggy leaves and everything. It just shoots out everything right there, blue. Everything from one spot. It shoots everything out from one spot. That's called self-heading. Things like that do really well in coconuts, and Billies are the perfect example. They are very hardy. They don't care about nothing. Put them in a coconut. I've underwatered them sometimes, and as soon as I water them, they start shooting out a new leaf. So it's like they like being, I don't know. It's just like the perfect coconut plant. Like, they just love being in the coconuts. So the Billiete, definitely. If I had to rank that 1 to 10, that'd probably be like my number, like top 3 plants of just easy care. Just spray it, mist it down, make sure she stays moist, water every like week, make sure she I pour water, or you can take her down and dunk her, and let her sit in water and dunk her, and it's super easy care. Repotting, I probably won't have to repot her because the aerial roots are just going to come out the sides like they already are, and if anything, like, I would just take more sphagnum moss and cake that on the outside of that. If anything, I'll just take a little bit of soil, put that on the outside, and the sphagnum moss, cake that on the outside more, and then wrap that a little bit with some fishing wire or something, hold it all in there for a while, and bam, that's your repotting. That's going to be my experiment when I go to add more to mine. When it gets just super big and it needs just something else right there with it, I'm gonna add some more some soil compact, sphagnum moss compact, wrap it, boom, you're good to go. And that probably won't be for another like 6 months to a year, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's the Billiete. Next plant, I would have to say that's easy for me this year, that I just been loving, been doing great for me. My Portadora, Alocasia Portadora. This plant just does not stop. It is not like, I have a lot of alocasias. I still have all of my alocasias for the most part, all my big ones. But that one it just does its thing. It looks so beautiful. It just looks so good. Just chills in its spot. Complains never. It had spider mite, or not spider mites, millies on it, as all my plants get millies every now and then. But you know, we just do a little quick wipe down, spray down, whatever, bloop, bloop, bloop. She's cool. I need to repot her. She needs to be repotted. But for the most part, that Portadora is just like doing her thing. Like looking beautiful, huge as all hell. Just a majestic, great, beautiful plant structure, everything. It's just beautiful. Holding 3 leaves right now. I've normally only get to get her to hold like 2 leaves, but 3 leaves, I'm like, yeah, she's holding 3 leaves now. She's chilling, she's doing her thing. The 3rd leaf came in and the other leaf didn't want to look like it was even thinking about going out. It was like, nope, we're fine. Like, so all 3 leaves are just holding perfect right now. So knock on wood, Alocasia Portadora doing great back there. Next plant, your McDowell. Now I'll kind of like bunch them together, my McDowell, my Gloriosum, and my Pastazanum. I'll kind of mix them all together in one giant pot because I kind of got them all around the same time. And I did that on purpose because I got the McDowell first, and then I loved the McDowell, and I was like, I want the parents. So I got the Gloriosum, and then I got the Pastazanum. And let me tell you, my Pastazanum, when I first got this plant, the Pastazanum was not doing that great. I got it in the brink of cold. I went and picked it up, bought it on Facebook Marketer. I got it from the lady, and her husband sold it to me because she wasn't there, and he brought it to me to the car with no like bag or nothing protecting it, and it was cold outside, snowing on the ground and shit. So got it home. It kind of went through a little shock, and it finally like after like 7-8 months of this thing, it finally started doing good and started picking up and doing some things. McDowell, she never stopped. She always just went. McDowell always just went. Recently lost the 2 earliest leaves that I had on that plant. I've had that plant over a year, and I just now lost the 2 oldest leaves on it. So that plant is just doing amazing. McDowell's doing great. Pastazanum's doing good now. And Gloriosum, same thing with the Gloriosum. When I first got that, and it was kind of a recovery plant. She was like, it's not doing that great, so that's why she sold it to me. And she was like, hopefully it does better with you. I got it, the first like 2 nodes that were popping out, that were about to sprout out, both died. They both aborted. I was like, oh my gosh. So I kept it going, kept that 1 leaf that it had on it going. It finally brought out another leaf. That leaf had problems. Finally brought out another leaf. That leaf had a little bit of problems. Finally brought out a leaf, and that leaf only had a little bit of problems. And then the next leaf came out, was fucking perfectly fine, perfect. And then now I'm on the next leaf, which that leaf is fucking beautiful, beautiful. That big leaf, as you see in the video, that's the newest leaf. So there's 4 leaves total. It's lost 2 leaves, lost the very beginning leaf that I got with it, and then it lost the leaf after that. So now it just has the 4 leaves, and they're all holding perfectly fine, looking good, looking great. I need to repot the McDowell though, because she is crawling out of the pot. And you know, we need to go ahead and make sure she's not gonna have any issues, because she's had issues already and she's now doing great. So we want to go ahead and make sure she continues to do great. So we're gonna repot her. I need to repot the Pastazanum, the McDowell, and the Gloriosum, and my other Gloriosum. I have 2 Gloriosums. My other Gloriosum that I got probably like 5 months ago. I got 4 months ago. I got that Gloriosum. That it needs to be repotted. It was needed to be repotted when I got it from the girl, but now it's getting to the point where as soon as this new leaf comes out, it will need to be repotted. So we're gonna go ahead and repot her. We're gonna go ahead and do that. So McDowell, Gloriosum, Pastazanum, great plants. Love them. Never have any issues with them. Next plant. All right, Paraiso Verdes. So this is kind of a weird plant because I got one. I was gifted one from Todd very early, before they hit the stores and everything. Not really early, but it was before they hit the stores, before they hit King Supers and everything. He gifted me that beautiful specimen. I still have that specimen. It is actually in the back of the room, which I actually didn't even film that one because it's kind of just in the back doing its thing. But Paraiso Verdes made my list, not because of the variegation it gets. I actually don't care for the variegation. I'm not a variegation fan. You guys know that. I don't really care for that too much. I like this plant because of its capabilities of being able to crawl up something and grow up something and fill out a pole very quickly with leaves. How I mount them with the coconut at the bottom, and then I let them grow up the pole up my logs I got, my log lights. They go. They love the log light. I love the way they hang off of the log lights. They crawl up it and they look good. If you have other plants with it too, and they crawl between the plants, the bromeliads and the tillandsias hanging out, they just look good as that kind of plant. If you're going for the variegated, want a little stocky, cute little plant, you're not really gonna get that with the Paraiso Verde. If you let that thing do what it wants to do and crawl up and do its thing, it looks good naturally growing. So Paraiso Verde has made this list because they are not only cheap and easy to find, but they grow like a weed. They just grow like a weed. And why would you not want a plant that can grow like a weed on a log light that can fill in gaps easily? So you can have, like, you know, a pretty princess with a Paraiso Verde and have the Paraiso Verde go in between that and filling in stuff while that pink princess is crawling up, creeping up slowly. Have it behind monsteras, have it behind some Addisonii. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot you can do with that Paraiso Verde. Have it as you can get it to climb. Have it with some pothos and Paraiso Verde. That's hard to say. Pothos and Paraiso Verdes, all in the same log growing up, and have it going, having big leaves coming out. Looks good. I don't know. And then if you can get it to start variegating, it looks even better. Like, it's even cooler. Like, you get it going big and it starts variegating as it gets bigger and filling in and stuff. Paraiso Verdes, they win for me. It's a win. It's a win. So easy plant, can't do nothing wrong with it. It's almost like a weed. Paraiso Verde. Let me drink some water. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so these next 4, I haven't really owned these plants very long, but I can tell from how long I've owned them and just the specimens that they just made my list because I just know they're gonna be great and they're beautiful plants and I love them. Like, what's not to like about them? Like, I don't know. But so one I have had for a little bit longer than the other 2. I've had this one for about 6 months, my Atabapoense. Philodendron Atabapoense. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but it sounds good when I say it like that, so whatever. Atabapoense. Whatever. That plant, it's looking great. Mine is looking good. I've seen other specimens online that get really lengthy, like Summer Rains. I've seen hers and it just looks really lengthy and really gross. No offense, they just look disgustingly lengthy, and I'm like, that's an ugly plant. Unless you can get it to crawl up something instantly, it's gonna look ugly. My Atabapoense, for some reason, is growing like a Billie. It is not a hybrid, but it is deciding to grow like a Billie, which I am loving and thanking. Like, it is not trying to vine out and get all super lengthy. It is staying kind of top heading. All the leaves are right next to each other, right there, perfectly angled in this little crevice that I want them to be in. At first they were kind of everywhere, but then when I put them in this crevice, they all kind of like perfectly fit into this nice little crevice, and they all know what's up, and they grow into that perfect spot, and it's just beautiful, and they're not going crazy, they're not lengthy. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. The second this thing starts getting lengthy on me, I don't know. I'm gonna have to instantly throw it on something for it to climb. But for right now, this Atabapoense is doing exactly what I wanted to do and just kind of look like a little self-heading plant, and it's looking beautiful. I love my Atabapoense. You get little red bottoms on it. Come on, the burgundy, reddish, red, burgundy, purplish, whatever you wanna call it. Dark ass reddish burgundy purplish underleaves. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And with that being known, if it has purple on the bottom, most likely it is cool with being a understory plant. So it being down there, it is perfectly happy. Don't think it's like, oh, it needs more light. No, it is perfectly happy, because plants that have purple underbottoms actually like less light, because the underbottoms is actually making it more light for it. Look it up. Purple bottoms means very low light. Very low light. Very low light. All right, next plant. Which one are we getting to? That was the Atabapoense, by the way. Atabapoense. I don't know how to say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Next plant. Woo. I have not had this plant for long, but I've had a cutting of it for a while. I've had a cutting for about 6 months, 5 months, 6 months, something like that, 5 to 6 months, 7 months, something like that. I've had a cutting for a good bit. That cutting, I didn't even think it was gonna root and take off. I put it in a coconut, stuck it on top, and that thing just started, boop. One day I saw one head come out, boop, then the next. So that thing is on top going crazy. But the next plant we were talking about is the Florida green. My Florida green, that thing went crazy, that cutting. So I was like, okay, so this thing is just obviously easy. I just missed it, spray it, make sure it stays good up there, and it's doing its thing. It's happy. It says, I need no help, Tune. I got this. So that lets me know that, hey, that plant does not need much. I was then lucky enough to find a big specimen for very cheap at City Floral, and picked it up. And I saw it, said, ooh, how am I? That quick. Like, it took me, I wasn't a plant shopper, but I seen that and I was like, for that Paraiso, I cannot let that go and sit because somebody's gonna come grab that. So I grabbed that giant Florida green that you see, and I has since then put out two big leaves, the big leaves that you see on top. I put those ones out for me, and then it's got that new one coming out as you see in the back on this little video. But that plant is just amazing. It is just, I just love the shape of the Florida green, and it's called Florida. Like any plant called Florida with the name Florida in it. Come on, I love the state of Florida, and it's called Florida green. Like, yeah, I love the Florida Beauty and the Florida Ghost. Those are pretty too, and one day I definitely will have a climbing Florida Beauty. It is just, something is gonna happen. That's a plant 2024 that I want. I'll get a cutting of that. That's not the plant, but that is a plant 2024, a Florida Beauty cutting. I will grab that. That's a must. That's gonna happen already. I could already tell you that's not even something I'm like, I gotta be like, but that's gonna be something that's gonna happen fairly soon in 2024. Florida Beauty cutting, growing up something, because they just grow crazy good, like as I see already. And I could imagine the Florida Beauties just go just as good as Florida green. So Florida green, love the shape, love the look of the leaf. It's just different looking. That leaf just looks different. It's a very beautiful leaf. If you see it, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, a Florida green. You see it in person, you're like, oh, it's a different looking leaf. I love the Florida green. So Florida green, definitely top of my list is for plants that like look good, that I'm happy with, that I've gotten. Yeah. All right, so that brings me to the last 3 plants that I want to speak about. I haven't owned these plants for long at all. I just want to talk about these plants because I love them. They are plants that are in my collection that I didn't think would be in my collection. Honestly, I did not think I would own these plants, or at least this size, that quick. One of them, let's go ahead and talk about it, is we're on the last 2 plants. The last 2 plants, I thought we had 3 more to go. We only have 2 more to go. So the last 2 plants I want to talk about, they're both Anthuriums. I haven't really owned Anthuriums really in the past. I owned one. It was a Regalie, and I killed it within like 6 months, and it was within like 4 months, 5 months. I didn't repot it. I didn't have the experience of Anthuriums that I do now. I had the log lights at that point, but I didn't have them set up how I have them now, to the point where like they grow great, and I understand how plants at that altitude and that height grow a little bit more now. So with me doing good within the Nepenthes and everything, which is hanging right there, it made me a little bit more, how can you say, inclined of the super humid, loving, big leaf Anthuriums that I hear about. And I thought you had to have super humidity and all that, which I have a good amount of humidity, especially with the humidifier going in the spot that it is, that it drapes over things that's like a lot of humidity. So things that like a lot of humidity, I have a little spot for them. So I was able to take a little Anthurium and put it on a log, and it was doing great. Like, I was like, oh my God, this thing's doing great. Then I have a friend named Molly who was like, hey, I have an Anthurium, a small one I want to give to you. And I was like, hey, cool. So we met at the plant shop, and she gifted me this Crystallinum X Magnificum that she had crossed and grew from seeds. I call her Queen Anthurium because she's queen of. I call her Queen of the Anthuriums out here because she is on her game when it comes to Anthuriums. So she blessed me with one of these plants, and I started growing it on the log, and it started doing great. And she was like, "Hey, I have a giant specimen that I don't really have room for, and I kind of want to make room for other plants, and I want to gift you this plant." And it's a giant crystallinum, like her mother plant. And I was like, what? And this plant is huge. And I was like, nah, like you can't gift that to me. She's like, nah, I wanted to give it to somebody who's gonna take care of it, who's gonna be able to like give it the space and the proper love to grow it out. Cause I like to grow out plants. Like a lot of people would like to chop and prop. I like to grow out my plants to see how big I can get them. So she knows I'm not gonna chop and prop this plant. I'm just gonna grow it out. So with that being said, she was like, you can have it, grow it out, love that plant. And it's exactly what I'm doing with it. So that plant, giant crystallinum, Anthurium, that thing is beautiful. Her name's Crystal. That's her name, she gave it to her. So that's the name I'm gonna carry on with it. That's the plant's name. Perfect, the plant's beautiful. Like, words don't even say enough. That plant is just beautiful. Sheesh. It's already shooting out an inflow. I thought it was a new leaf already coming out, because that newest leaf came in and got damaged, because it was coming in already, but it was small when she transported it, and it got a little damaged in transport, and so it kind of got a little deformed when it like hardened, started growing and hardening off. So it started shooting out that new one, and I was like, oh, I thought it's a new leaf coming in already, and it was an inflow, and I was like, whatever, I'll take it, but like I was like, sheesh. So it shot out this giant inflow, which just opened up this morning. Finally opened up, and that plant's beautiful. I had to repot it because she needed to be repotted, and I got her in her new home like 2 weeks ago, repotted her, and she's just not skipping a beat. She's just doing her thing. So one of the easiest plants I got is that crystallinum for show. Super easy. Just make sure she don't dry out. She's happy in her spot. She's cooling. Let her do her thing, you know what I'm saying? So, crystallinum. And then, since I got that crystallinum, I saw somebody online had a Veitchii for very low. Big specimen. And I know most people couldn't take this specimen because they don't have this top space that you need to have this specimen. You know, you need to have the room for it, you know, to be able to, for that plant to be in its glory, it needs to have its spot up top. And I had like the perfect spot, and I'm like, man, that thing would look so beautiful draping down right there, coming through right there. Ooh. So I had to meet up with Buddy and pick that up real quick. And I wasn't lying to myself when I tell you that thing had its home already. Plot. That thing sat right in its perfect spot. King Anthurium. Right in its spot. And that thing looks beautiful. Couldn't pass on it. Couldn't pass on it. The size of it, I was like, I don't want somebody to destroy this thing. I don't want this guy to destroy it. He's had it on Facebook Marketer for a long time. The price kept dropping, and for a long time it stayed at this one price, and I'm like, I don't think he's gonna drop anymore. Let me just go ahead and talk to him, get it off of him. Had to. That was a must. That was a must grab. If you can see, if you see that thing, you see that thing, you see this thing. That's a must grab. Come on. Come on. And then shot out the new leaf. Started shooting out the new leaf. And I was like, yes. That new leaf has been going forever. That new leaf is taking its sweet time. I ain't gonna lie, but it's coming out. It's doing its thing. And slowly but surely, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that leaf. So, big Veitchii leaf, and then as soon as that leaf hardens off a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and repot that thing because it needs to be repot. Out of water, but that is okay because that is the end of the video. That is my 2023 plants that have been easy for me, and that I'm glad that I got a couple of them. Honestly, I didn't have that long, but I'm just super glad I got them, and they have been super easy so far. So, you know, I'll keep you updated on how it's going. But until then, until the next video. Oh, I almost forgot the plant that in 2024 that I'm most anxious to get. I want to have this plant in 2024. Drum roll. Spirit of Sanctity. I had one at a shop. Todd was holding on to it for me, and then I took too long and they ended up selling it. I don't blame them. I took way too long to go and pick it up, but they'll get me another one in here soon. And when they get another one in here soon, I will pick that up. But the Spirit of Sanctity, not the variegated. I just want a Spirit of Sanctity to put in a coconut. I just want to put a Spirit of Sanctity in a coconut and hang it. Have it hanging back there. Have a Spirit of Sanctity hanging somewhere around this little area. Bloop, Spirit of Sanctity. You know what I'm saying? That'd be so lit. But yeah, so that is it. 2024, Spirit of Sanctity and a coconut both. Coming soon. Stay tuned for that. Until then, go ahead and follow me at ZTY Palm Care on the YouTube. They're on the Instagram. You're already on the YouTube. You already definitely subscribe. If you don't subscribe, hit that subscribe. Smash that subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And then go ahead and like, comment, let me know what your 2024 plant is. 2024 wish list plant. What you trying to do with it? Are you trying to get into more coconut plants, cocodomas? Are you trying to do it? Let me know. I'm gonna be having a few of them for sale, and it's gonna be a little signature thing that I'll have the videos for the plants that you buy. So not too many plants or you can like buy and be like, let me look at the video on this exact plant. Like, oh no, like I'm gonna have exact videos on plants for the Billies, and then plants on the Ring of Fires, plants on the Paraiso Verdes, plants that I do, I'll have videos on so you guys know how to take care of them the proper way, and we can all rock out and enjoy this little hobby we call plant loving. And I don't know if it's a hobby for most of us. I think for most of us it's a lifestyle more so. For me, it's definitely not more of a hobby, it's more of a lifestyle. But you get the jig. If you're into plant stuff, go ahead and follow me, ZTY Palm Care on Instagram, and go ahead and smash that subscribe. Until the next video, I will see you guys later. Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that goodiness, because it is that time of year. I'll see you guys next year. Peace.